Any trader that has not gone through mini depression before, he has not started trading. And if a man that is expected to provide from his MT5 account is meant to bring money, extract money from a $10 account, loses 5 out of that $10, and there is someone at home telling him that, Alpha, you're not buying wheat for me. Do you understand the point? Definitely, it's like double trouble now. See, using intuition is a tricky thing. So you need to know how to use your intuition. Intuition is very personal, so you need to know how to hack your own intuition.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Trading 2 podcast, the fastest growing trading podcast in Africa today. In fact, the fastest growing podcast in Africa right now. Remember, in this podcast, we are not scared to say the truth. We are not scared to break table. In fact, the major purpose of this podcast is to reveal truths that you've been wanting to know for long. Is to break tables that have been set already.
Yes, sir.
So it's interesting to know that this podcast is being sponsored by an academy, a trading academy. I know you've heard about other academies where they post demo accounts, screenshots of making 30 billion naira, whatever, in 2 months. You're already getting. But this particular trading academy doesn't do that. They're interested in training you as a trader. You know, there's a psychology that comes with the trader, but let's not go there yet. They are interested in training you as a trader. They're interested in making you profitable, but not quick money. They want you to be able to sustain wealth, but not now. We're not going to be talking about the name. We'll not mention. We want you to watch this podcast and stay tuned, because maybe at the end of the podcast we'll mention the name, or maybe in our next episode. Just stay tuned. And today we have interesting people in our podcast today.
Yes, sir.
My fellow host and our amazing guest. But let me introduce my fellow host first. We have Mr. Natu, the delectable Natu, the Englishman of our podcast. And we have Mr. Kelvin. Everybody be saying hi when I call your name, say hi. So we have Mr. Kelvin, the educational trader that has substance but don't say too much. And we have me. My name is Udochi, and I'm the host of this program. And today, let me say my hi. And today we have an amazing guest, a proper psychologist. In fact, the only trader I know on Twitter X that is an expert in trading psychology. He's gone far. When he looks at a trade, he just knows the psychology behind the traders. He just let's not go far. But he's so well knowledgeable in psychology. And if you're somebody that you've always wanted to trade, but you're scared of how it could deal on your mental health, because that's what everybody's saying now. This guest today is here to equip you. So join me, drum rolls, as I welcome Mr. Toff.
Whoa.
Is that Toff for Christopher or Toff for normal Toff?
Man, long story. But yeah, Toff from Tofumi.
Okay. So welcome Mr. Tofumi to our podcast.
Yeah,
We're glad to have you here, and I'm already hyped because I know that mentally I'm stressed, the traffic, the everything.
So we should apply it from you.
Yes,
from now.
yes. I think
Yes.
I think the first question should be from me, experience, life. Like I've gone through a lot from. Do you get? Okay, now I'm going. There's this important thing that I found out about traders. Since you're a psychologist, traders are depressed. See, there is no two ways about it. Traders are depressed. It's either when you go through a trader status, or probably their Snap. They're majorly on Snap actually. Their Snap or their Twitter. You're seeing a trap music, someone sad, something that
very sad.
if you're not depressed, okay, maybe you are a 9 to 5 person and you're going through a lot, and you go through a trader's Snap or post, automatically you'll be mentally depressed. Why is that? Why do they? Is it posturing, or they are actually depressed?
Well, one more time, thank you for the wonderful introduction, and it's also good to be here today. I would
Glad
say
to-
that any trader that has not gone through mini depression before, he has not started trading. Yeah, at some point in your trading career, you are going to actually be depressed. Now, the depression might not be so big that it's going to lead to extreme thoughts, but you will be depressed, like real depression. So those ones you see that post music, sad music, and all of that, they most likely they are in that phase where they've lost so much, right? It's seeming like the more they do, the market takes from them all the time, and they have no choice but to just use music to just console themselves.
Well, I feel like it's posturing. I
Mm.
feel like they are posturing because to be honest, person just start to trade. If you say still dey trading academy, you don't dey post. Mothers do this one, haters. You know, their depressed state is almost like Yahoo boys. But let's not go there. I feel like it's posturing because are they really depressed, or I know you say losing out or something, but you go see trader, you just start to trade. You never really put, if you dey trade on $50 account, if they get $50 account, you never really dey trade.
I think it's the pain. There's a pain that comes with losing a trade. Sometimes people don't want to be wrong. You understand? So when you're overly wrong, like sometimes it begins to affect your psyche. But then if that is a factor where you get depressed, I mean, as a psychological genius in the trading, in the trading, ecosystem,
Yeah.
how do you think, beginner traders can fix that psychology when we already know that taking losses, is tantamount to you losing self-confidence, and all of that? How do you propose that they can, help themselves in that when they're in that situation of mini depression?
Of mini depression, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So firstly, as she said, traders are just in academies, and before you know, they're already
They're
posting sad
posting.
music and all of that. Yeah, it might look like posturing, but the thing that there is so much power in losing things, even losing the smallest amount of money. Do you get? Human beings don't like to lose. It's always, especially men, it's always been something that is a serious thing right from evolutionary times. You get? So they might lose small money, but to you, you're like, why is he crying over this small loss? But trust me, there is something deeper than that. I mean, it's a long-term idea. It's something that he himself is not even aware of the state he's going through.
Ego.
You get the point? Ego self day.
Yeah.
When you say only men, does it mean that when they this, because I know women trade too.
Yeah.
So does it mean that when they lose, they don't feel pain or what?
You know what? I like where you just carry this.
Yeah,
Twitter will say, I
gender.
like where you hang the ball. You understand?
No, we need to know now.
From my experience and from quite the books I've read, when it comes to reactions to losses, like depression and sadness, men are more in tune with it. It means that men actually get more depressed than women. Yeah, men get more sad after a trading loss than women. And it's just because, let me first even go towards this angle.
No,
Women don't have so much responsibility.
I don't think that. Honestly, I'm sorry that I'm going to. It's not about
It's
gender.
obvious
Hold
already.
on, it's not about gender. Do you know that the kind of pain that we women suppress, you guys cannot even take that pain. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I don't like it when you make it feel like when we take up in a career, we are not really serious. In this trading, you find women doing so well, and I could lose as a lady, and I'm suppressing. I'm very pained. Do you get? I might not show you that I'm pained, but I'm pained. But I'm taking it in. I'm not posting that if I want to die tomorrow or something. But there is one thing that I'm very sure of. I'm hyper. That you can't tell me calm down when you are attacking
No, you're taking it
females.
personal already.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
attacking
going
me.
to take it personal.
Okay, so that's one fantastic trait. God bless you guys. The ability to suppress that pain.
Thank you. That's what you will say. Not that women don't feel pain. We
Okay,
feel pain.
Okay, you feel pain,
Yes.
but
But
you
you
have the
suppress it.
supreme ability to suppress the pain. Do you understand? That's one. Another point is that when it comes to provision, we guys are the ones that have it. And if a man that is expected to provide from his MT5 account is meant to bring money, extract money from a $10 account, loses 5 out of that $10, and there is someone at home telling him that, Alpha, you're not buying wig for me. Do you understand the point? Definitely, it's like double trouble now.
You see, that's the problem, Mr. Toff. That's the problem. Honestly speaking, let me be honest with you. I was going to ask you this, but since you've gone to gender way, let me just ask it.
All right.
Let me ask it. There is something that it have affected me, actually. It have affected me so greatly. where first traders don't tend to have a life in terms of relationship wise.
Oh.
Like right now, I have PTSD. When I say
Ooh.
forex trader, I don't even try to get into a talking stage with you because I just know that it's not going to end well. It's not like I'm already like saying it
Don't
will.
judge it.
No, it's not like I'm already
Don't
saying
because
that
look.
it's not look. It's not look. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me say for instance now. There's someone I dated one time and he's this kind of person that he puts his phone on DND. His phone is always, and I'm big on communication. I'm someone that if you want to put your phone on DND, tell me you want to put your phone on DND. So I'm not going to be worried about you. Do you get?
Yeah.
But he doesn't say that. He doesn't tell me that he's putting his phone on DND. Doesn't communicate. And when you find out, okay, let me talk, let me complain, you'll be like, no, this is not what I want to talk about right now. Either I lost a particular trade or something, or I'm going through that or something. And you find out that it's now a pattern. They are losing relationship. They are making the ladies look like mad people, look like ladies that nag. So why is it that traders don't sustain relationships?
Okay, so what I would say is that when it comes to the beginning, I've spent 6 years in the industry, and I noticed that there was a time whereby your emotions control you. So it means that you can transfer aggression, you can transfer sadness, you can transfer pain to the next party, not just even your babe, your friend, someone else. Do you
Family
understand?
member.
And most likely, your babe is the closest person to you, so she's going to feel what you're going through. You understand? But there's a point you get to in your trading career, whereby you build what we call self-control. You've built mental awareness, right? So you are aware of yourself. So even when you lose 5 trades in a row, you know that, bro, if I say this thing only get to me, right? I shouldn't transfer this on the next person. I shouldn't. So I would say that for early traders, when they get into a relationship, most likely, truly, you are going to be right. You will mess it up. But as a trader becomes
Mature.
Michael Banks is married, you understand, and definitely, I'm sure that he doesn't still transfer those kind of things. So traders that have spent years, it gets to a point whereby you can lose 10 trades and still maintain composure. You don't need to put your phone on DND.
Okay, so are you trying to say now, like as a trader, it's not advisable to get into a relationship
Is that what you're
at
saying?
the early stages? Yes, it's not advisable because you're not yet in tune with your emotions. At that point, your emotions still have seniority over you, superiority. Do you understand? So until you get to the point whereby you know that you are really aware of yourself, like you know when you are sad, you know when stop loss or daily drawdown, prop firm don't affect you. Now, when you've gotten to that stage, I would say that yes, you can handle the turmoil that even comes in relationship.
But why don't you just communicate? Why don't these traders communicate? Because it's bad enough that you're coming first with an energy that you're calling this person, you're in this person's space, and probably the lady doesn't even want to talk to you, and you chase the person. I'm talking from experience. I'm actually
It's obvious.
I was
It's
so
obvious.
excited. I was so excited when I saw that you were a psychologist because I really need to know the thought process of traders. So you're saying now that you shouldn't get into relationship until at an early stage. But I think they should also communicate because don't act like you are ready. You are in that Toff already.
Nobody knows.
And thank you very much. Nobody really knows. He did not know that it was going to be like that. And one more thing is that I'm sorry to say, I'm going to most likely even spark another thing that might. You women, when it comes to when they say men should be emotionally vulnerable, you should come and cry to you, should be sad, you should tell you what's going on. Not every, now there are exceptions definitely, but not every woman can actually take so much of vulnerability. So every time you communicate as you said or asked for, and it says, oh, I just lost 2 trades, I just lost 3 trades, I just lost my prop account, my daily drawdown just breached. At some point you'll be tired of him. Like, bro, why are you always why are you just nagging every time?
Mr. Toff.
You're not that kind of person.
I guess he's actually saying.
Wait, Mr. Toff. I'm not trying to argue here, but I see to what he's saying. Because even to me, although they don't, most times these traders don't even tell their babes that they lost money. They don't really tell their babes that they lost something. Except you find exceptional ones actually saying something. Some they just lock up and take it in. And it will reflect in their actions. But I resonate with what you are saying because if you come to me and you're telling me you lost a trade, you lost this, you lost that, honestly speaking, I don't really know what to say to you. I'm going to be very honest. At that point, I'm processing, and I wish deep down you never told me,
Okay,
because
good.
I don't even have a solution for you. So it's better you tell me. I asked you, "Hi, babe, how was your day?" And you told me it was horrible. Do you want to talk about it? No. Don't worry, it will be fine. Or I'll prefer the other this thing. I'm not talking
Let
about
me
the
chip in
other
something.
aspect. Okay.
Okay, let me chip in something. I mean, I don't necessarily feel like a trader has to be in the trading game for donkey years for you to be able to be in tune with your emotions. Why do I say so? I say so because I feel that growth comes as a result. I mean, trading helps you be more in tune with yourself. So that growth is pretty much your own personal growth, right? So if okay, so peradventure you read books, you are self-aware, and then you go into trading. It helps you. I mean, it's quicker because then when you take a loss, you quickly ascertain that, oh, I think I was fearful in this trade, or I was too greedy in this trade. Then you are truthful to yourself because you've attained a level of self-awareness. But since Mr. Toff here, I mean, you're the psychology guru.
Yeah,
So I just want to save some set of people. Now, there
Okay.
are exceptions. There are people that definitely, in fact, I would say this: if you can go through that early stage and the relationship at the same time, and you scale through it, man, you are going to be a beast. You'll be like the best in controlling yourself because you were able to go through fire. And
So
And I did not quench.
relationship
Can
don't
that
turn
even be
fire.
possible? Can that even be
Yes.
possible?
Relationship don't
Because
turn
I
fire.
think
No, no.
that relationship will be a distraction to that young man.
Yeah, for many people,
Because
at that
many
young
majority
stage,
of ladies, these people will not understand.
they won't.
At times they will even feel like you're oppressing them because when you start telling them your achievements, some of them feel oppressed. I've been on that show.
Really?
I'm telling you.
A
They
lady
feel like
feels
you're always
oppressed by
coming
your.
up with this trading stuff. What about me? So when somebody is telling you that
It's
kind
not.
of
It's
thing,
not. Although, see, let's be honest. Some guys do that in an insulting way. But let me buttress my point. You know, that is a friend of mine I had one time. We don't really talk so much again, and he will call me. I notice he will call me mostly at night, and we are talking. We are laughing. We're talking about different things, but his work. And then one day he told me, "Precious, do you know why I call you at night and we talk?" I was like, "No, I used to wonder." He said, "Because you don't talk about my work. We just talk about so many other things, different things. I will just get to get into reality." And I said something that his work, I know it. I can prefer advice. I can prefer solutions. But he didn't trust me enough to say those things to me. At first, I felt insulted because I know this thing you are doing. I know it very well. And if I'm this kind of person that if I like you, I don't mind researching on a particular talk, a particular subject, just to be able to provide solutions to you. But as after that time he told me that, I think it kind of also reduced our communications. I felt like, I know we can laugh, I can make you feel good, we can talk, we can say all these things, but if you can't tell me about your work or the little things you go through, you don't trust my brain enough to carry it.
You were once in the trading, like you researched about the trading, like you were once in the trading field, right?
That particular field wasn't even the trading field. When I got interested in trading was after I dated my ex.
The one that
like
was a trader.
yes,
Okay.
I wanted to, because I really wanted to know what happened. I wanted to understand what was the problem, because I wanted to understand, is it from the fact that he's a trader or the fact that he's not a trader? What is the problem? And then I found that, okay, he's not really telling me this thing. Maybe he doesn't want to tell me. Do you get? But it would have been beautiful. I would have probably not say so much about the trading if you have communicated that you are going through a lot. Don't tell me what you are going through. I do not want to know how many.
but why?
Because if you tell
What's
me,
now the essence of telling you?
Telling
when
you
you
he's
want to
going
know
through
the
a lot.
content?
You understand?
okay, now.
Are you sure
Like-
you not prick and ask for that
Don't-
Like
question?
I
Yeah.
said something. Remember what I said when you mentioned
Mm.
about that thing? I said that if sometimes I wish you never told me that you lost like $100, you lost $2,000 or something. Because do you know what? I can't get your money back from you. I don't know how I'm going to get it back. But if you're going through something and you're going to, it's in you, why don't you just talk to me? Tell me, babe, you're going through a lot. This is what you just, because something happened and you might not really want to talk about it, but it's about trading. I understand it's about trading. And maybe I might not tell you, okay, this is what you would do, because I don't know shit. but you realize that I'll probably prefer comfort because I'm a lady. That's what I bring. It comes with my feminine energy.
Comfort without solution.
Now, do you know one thing about you guys? You feel like, say you lost $100, I go bring them back. If you tell your follow guy, you go bring them back for you. But let's be honest.
I'll give you updates now.
But
You
as
get,
you
you
were
get it
telling
back.
me- As you were telling me, that's why I said, don't tell me you lost 100. Just tell me you had an issue with your trading.
I had a bad day.
No, we cannot.
You had an issue with your trading and all that.
That's
I
not
have
the
my
problem.
means as a lady, and I'm not even talking sex, because when you say you have your means, somebody will say it's sex or whatever. I'm not even talking that. I have my means as a lady to provide comfort to you. For the meantime, you're not even thinking about what you lost. You're
I think I
thinking
get that
about
point,
refreshing. Do you get?
I think I get
So
your
it's
point.
not every time. When I tell you I'm depressed or something, I'm not telling you to give me
But
solution to my
I think there are
depression.
some issues that need comfort. Not even, you see, trading. Trading is a different game on its own, and it basically and majorly say deals with this psychology part of it all. You understand? Because when I'm not in this right state of mind, the only thing I want is, okay, the comfort can go few ways, but that cannot just quench it.
The main thing, right? Yeah, but at the same time, I would say that you actually made a good point, because your advice to traders out there, which I will also say, is that you don't necessarily need to say the exact amount you lost. To whoever you're telling, they are not going to help you.
But some want to know.
They'll
be like, why can't you just tell me you lost your trade, and what's the big deal there? And
if the person is not a trader, unless the person is also a trader. If the person is a trader, it might be understandable. But if the person is not a trader, there's no point telling the person. You could just say that definitely, our account is going through some sort of rough times. You get like drawdown and all of that. Once you start saying figures, people will calculate it in dollars. Naira is now 1,005. If you say I lost $1,000, 1.5 million, it sounds like a very, very big money.
Yeah.
But do you understand?
But me and you know that majority of these ladies want to know how much.
Actually,
many of them
they
won't
will ask.
Actually, that you're different doesn't
Some
mean.
want to even see it. I'm telling you.
Actually, but speaking about psychology, I mean, you said something like, that there are levels to this, more so that you get to a level where you are more in tune with your with your emotions, right? But I want to know, I mean, it's a big question that has been on everybody's lips, or most people's lips. Do you think, in your experience, do you think that traders are made, or traders are born? Are they born, or are they made?
That's a very fantastic question. Yeah, there used to be a book called Nature or Nurture. I think it was one popular trading book. Nature meaning that are people born traders, or nurture meaning that can you groom people to be traders? From my experience, I would say that before I used to believe that it was sort of genetic, meaning nature. But from my experience, I believe that people can actually be groomed to be traders. Now, the only thing is that it might take different duration of time. One, two, it might take a different level of intensity on different people. The work I might need to put on you might be different from what I should put on some people. But I believe that everybody can actually be a trader. It's just like doctors. Some of them use 7 years before they enter school and they write jam and all of that. But the ones that actually still get there, even they might have some extra years, they might still end up graduating. But the time it took them to get to that level was so long. So I believe that every trader, every potential person that wants to learn trading, if you go through the right mentorship, you learn the right things, you learn psychology, risk management, CA. It might take you time. So don't compare yourself with the next person who took this person 2 years. Yours might be 3, 4, 1.5. It depends. But I believe everybody can actually, be a trader. Yeah. So you can actually groom people. Traders are not entirely born. Nobody's entirely really born into any profession, actually. You might have certain skills that make it easier for you.
Certain skills such as
Patience. Now, some people naturally are just patient people, right? They are reserved. Now, people that are naturally patient people, right? They might actually tend to, key into trading faster, because they might not that urge to make quick money. They just don't have it. Now, too much of patience too is not good. Also, we know that definitely. You go miss setup. You understand? And you might not even be ginger to do certain things you do. But to an extent, they might be quick to actually key into it, because patience is one important thing in trading. And there are other genetic traits that people are born with, and that these traits, they would help you learn faster. It doesn't mean that someone who has none of these things cannot grow them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? But they might just help you learn faster.
Sorry, taking you back to you saying everybody can trade. Is that really true?
Everybody has the potential to trade. It just depends on how resilient the person is, how patient you are to, stick through time. Do you understand? So it might take me 3, it might take you 1 year.
Okay.
But I think everybody has the potential to be a successful trader.
When it comes to putting in the work, the psychological balance, the risk management part of it, majorly say the work that needs to be focused on in this forex journey, you understand? I think it's majorly on backtesting. But when we say backtesting, even me till now, I don't really still get it. Like this backtesting of the thing, is it really worth it? Is it necessary? Are we sure that what has happened before will happen again or will keep happening? So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, so last week on my space, I used to have space every Thursday, every bi-weekly Thursday. So I gave them an example for this thing. Before any business wants to set up an location, you have to test how, they have to do a survey to see how, the customer base of that area. They won't just go there and jump there. So backtesting is similar to that. You are trying to see how well a particular system has performed in the past. Now, does that mean that business, based on the survey they did, they would have the exact, profits or calculation? No. Exactly. So backtesting is the same thing. You're just going back to see how well a system has performed, such that in the future you would have a close estimate. All right. So if in backtesting the win rate was 67, in the future, right, you may have 66, 65, 55. You might not get the exact same thing because you also make errors. You make mistakes. You might sleep, wake up late, and some sort of execution errors. You get, but you should have a very, very close result. Yes, like in terms of percentage wins, losing streaks, risk reward, those kind of things. Very, very close results. So truly, past performance, I think, is a popular mantra. Does not really guarantee future results. Exactly. Do you understand? But it can give you an idea of what future results will be.
Okay, so like when it comes to backtesting, is there any particular range of time, like 10 years of data, 20 years, 5 years? Is there any particular range of time that you should backtest for? Or is it just better to backtest from the beginning of the existence of forex?
Yes, that's from the days of Solomon.
God, was Solomon.
Yes, now. Since that's how it works.
So I'll go historical now.
My brother. So the thing is that when it comes to this issue of data, I like the fact that I remember the time I tweeted one time. I said, if you don't have 12 years of data, you have not started. And everybody just came to my neck that day.
12 years.
They almost crossed my neck. They crucified me. You understand? Then later I now pity them and I tweeted again and said 5 years. Then still criticize. I'm like, what do you guys want?
You said they should backtest that strategy 100 times. I said, oh boy.
So the thing is that usually, because of the question you first asked, that does it even guarantee future results? So it means that if there's a question like that, we need to ensure we have enough data to encompass different market conditions. So we want to ensure that your system has been refined or created from so much data that all through all kinds of market conditions, bullish, bearish, ranging, right, the system can still survive. So that's the reason why we're always saying, okay, you have to gather so much data. Not because 10 years has to be the standard. You could actually just get 3, 2. For me, I believe that you should have nothing less than 2 years, actually. 2 years enough to actually get so much. But one more thing with a lot of data is that some people need confidence from data. Now, everybody's confidence levels is actually different. We are naturally different when it comes to confidence. It's genetic. That's why I see some guys and you say that, they are very confident.
I was coming to that.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So some people, they need that data.
It's major
Do you understand? Thank you very much. It's majorly for their own confidence. It's not like that 10 years is compulsory, but just for the sake of their confidence, they need that data. So they might not need to impose it and say it's a general rule of thumb, everybody has to 10 years. But if you know that you've done 2 years and you don't trust, it's just like a relationship of, a lot of years and marriages where you say, I can trust my wife, I can trust my husband because we've been in this for a long time. Do you understand? It's the same thing here. You need to understand that, okay, this system, I've checked how it works for the past 10 years, 15 years, and it still gives good results. Trust me, when you start trading, that confidence will be. It go choke. It go one wound you. Sure you get.
One important question. Okay. So talking about confidence, me, I've been a victim of this thing. You backtest. Then when that exact thing plays out. This happened to me yesterday. Overconfidence, I match.
Full margin.
Oh boy, I match the thing.
Accelerator.
The way the thing why me.
Bro, don't
As in the 2
That
seconds, I was
confidence is
liquidated.
it.
I could not believe my eye because, bro, this is something I just backtested like
so
for the past like 1 month,
exactly.
and it's been working. Then I just okay, let me test this thing.
Okay.
So I mean, my question is, does backtesting lead to overconfidence?
That's a very. I like where you carry this matter to. Yes, it can. So there is something. I think it was Dick Jr. that tweeted it, and I agreed with the tweet. He said overstudying can be a problem. Yeah. And I also say over backtesting also might be a problem. But the only thing here is that backtesting should not give you overconfidence to the point that you actually think that you know what will happen on every trade. But it should give you an idea of probability.
likely.
Yes.
might happen.
Do you understand? So because in backtesting also, if you notice in backtesting, unless you are doing it wrongly, you are not also winning every trade in backtesting.
Yes, of course.
When you were backtesting, there were losses.
Yes,
So
true.
backtesting is not giving you the idea that every trade will be a win. It's giving you the idea that we're going to have a mixture of wins and losses.
So just be prepared.
Do you understand?
Just
So be prepared for that.
yeah.
So that's what I'm going to say. It's not entirely meant to give you so much confidence that the reason why it happened with that scenario was that when you took that 1 month data, it was possible that system was on a winning streak
At that point.
at that point in time.
yeah.
So because of that, it has warned you that okay, this thing is going to be sure and all of that. Not knowing that I'm sure that if you backtest that same system for over 1 month, maybe you go 1 year, you start seeing some losing periods. So even when you're about to match the accelerator on on the trade, it reminds you that bro, you backtested and saw losses here. So that way you pull back.
I like that. I like
So
that.
this backtesting of it is really costing a whole lot. Now coming to the aspect of the data, what are the factors that makes up that data? Why is the data important?
Okay,
Yeah.
so when it comes to data, I always recommend majorly 3 things. One, the win rate. 2, the average losing streak. In fact, just those 2 things majorly. Now, the point is that what data gives you is that. So the reason why many people actually shake after they take losses is because they don't even know the maximum number of losses that their system can give. Do you understand? Let me use an example I always use. You open a barbering shop, and for 3 days in a row, you don't see customer. Nobody came to barb hair in your shop or your salon.
Okay.
If you are used to that, if that's not your first time, you won't close that shop. But if that's your first time, you will call whoever
give up.
advised you and say, "How far? Waiting the shop." Say,
I
now
never
waiting
see
you
customer.
now waiting you
the
come
business
bring
idea
this.
is this.
This is and you might even close the shop and say, "Man, I'm tired of this life. I want to do something else." But if you have been in the system for 10 years, right? You realize that okay, I've seen this happen over and over again. So that's the same thing data does. Data shows you how many losing streaks you can take. There was a system I used to trade then. I had backtested 5 years of data. I never saw 5 losses in a row. I did 7 years. I never saw 5. When I went to 8, as she said, it shocked me. I saw 9 in a row. I was like, so a system can lose 9 in a row. So when I started trading that system in real life, there was a day for the first time in 2 years that in real trading, and I had 6 in a row. Trust me, I was not so shaking like that. You know why? I now remember that way there was a time in backtesting that this thing happened. It might not happen all the time, but it will happen once. It will eventually happen. So that way, data just gives you an idea of, okay, how many losses can happen in a row? What's the win rate like? Okay, how many wins should you take out of 10 trades and 100 trades? That's what it gives you. And once you have that from data, trust me, your confidence comes. It just comes.
Okay, so now, talking about this confidence now. There's something that I noticed that when I talk about experience. It's more like a sociological data. Okay, I noticed something that for forex traders or people in the financial world, they have one particular habit that they get into, and just if you ask them, like they give me morale, they ginger me when they're talking about confidence right now. Okay, and most times you find that either they are heavy smokers, like terrible smokers without alcohol, or they are just into gambling or pornography. Calm down. You go just do like this for anonymous places. They'll be like, say, I don't do so Peter, yeah. Say I don't drag and where. Say, who go help me? What will I do? And when you go down, you find out that person is a trader. What is it about? Is it that because of the isolation because a lot of
Okay.
traders isolate a lot.
Okay.
Is it the most of this isolation will be like I dey study, either you dey study, back
They always
testing,
study.
you dey do this one. And for that this thing, no be say you dey do am, but
Mm.
either you dey you dey
Use
you
and
dey
cover up.
you dey cover
and
up
cover
or
up.
something, or you dey pop. So what is
What
it
is
about?
this up,
Yeah,
bro?
why is that? Why is that?
Okay, yeah, very good question. So trading is a business that we always call it the riskiest business in the world because it's the only business that you risk money to make money. So it means that your
Yeah.
emotions are on the line
It's
also.
what- it's
Yeah,
what
There
it's
is
just
nothing that your emotions are on the line from the first day. Nah, there is no job that they will tell you to bring money first. Now your skill and whatever you got from school.
Exactly.
But in trading, from the first day you enter the field, Baba, bring your money first. And as you brought your money, your emotions are involved also.
Yeah.
So it means that what happens is that usually people try to find ways of escape. And smoking, taking weed, pornography, jerking, and all of that, can be a way to let off, to equilibrate whatever you're feeling. So there is an
Oh.
emotional high that you've gotten or an emotional low. So it means that maybe you've lost a lot of money, losing streaks, you are in a low. You need to ensure that your emotions come back to normal. The normal human being's emotions are neutral, all right? But trading can just bring you down
Zero.
to zero. So you need something
that
that
bad?
jerks you up.
So
So most of the times, those drugs, weeds, and all of that is that thing that wants to that traders seek comfort in to take them back to normal.
Oh, now seeking comfort. Now I just remembered where we went to talk about women. See why I said it. Instead of seeking
Don't carry this
comfort,
matter to that
It's
place.
it's not it. It's not it. You see why I said it.
Hey,
Instead of
God.
seeking calm down now. Instead of seeking comfort in soapy, or you're seeking comfort in smoke,
Okay.
you have your lady there.
But you
What-
cannot.
what
So
are
I
you
have no
doing?
control over how my lady would give me comfort.
Mm.
If I'm taking weed,
Don't you
even though I
get-
don't,
yes.
if I'm doing those things, so someone that is smoking can take 2 wraps today or 3 wraps tomorrow
Don't do
because
it.
it feels it don't do alright. Do you get? It feels how much it needs to
No
be
be
better.
first. Most of them they smoke on a steady, like on a steady.
What I would
just
just
say that you go.
No, I know now. I dey talk the truth. This is something. Forget statistics and all that.
Yeah.
We see these people every day. We
Yeah,
are in
it's
their
true, it's true.
faces, and you get, if you're someone that's very observant, you know that they have the struggles. They are talking about
Yeah,
masturbating.
for
They're
real.
talking about smoke, and some of them want to stop. You find somebody that he's a heavy smoker, but he doesn't take alcohol. He doesn't
Yeah, there are
even
people like that.
Yeah.
womanize.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
doing all these things, and you wonder, is it just because of is a way to like find comfort? Is when you say babe, you no go understand. Babe, no go understand, but for probably smoke, weed go understand.
So when
Do
it
you
comes
get-
to relieving stress, that's the thing. Trading is a stressful journey. So they think
Very
they can relieve
stressful.
stress through those things. But my advice to most of them is that, if you start that way, most likely you have to continue for life. So
It turns to
yeah,
an habit.
it comes to an
It's
habit.
an habit,
So it's
yeah.
better if you go through that phase of face your demons yourself, face it yourself.
Once and for all.
Once you come out on top, you won't need any of those things to feel better.
Yes, true.
If you've been using those things as a trader, which you are not wrong, you are very right. Many traders go through those routes to just release stress. But if you've been going through those routes to release stress, you are not giving your body the ability to adapt. You are not giving your mental system the ability to understand that, man, let me find a way to solve this thing, to help you out. Do you get? So I would advise people not to go through that right. Face the stress, go through the losing period. See, definitely you'll be mini depressed. You face a lot of anxiety. You have those things. But what's happening? The interesting thing about the human body is that it prepares you for the worst. Yeah, it prepares you for the worst. Your body is recording those things that you're going through. After first year, at some point, the anxiety reduces, the depression reduces. But people don't just wait that long. People are not resilient. But it gets to a point whereby you don't. Currently, I tell people on spaces, I don't feel shit if I lose 10.
Yeah, your
I just don't.
your
I don't know
resilient
how.
threshold will
Yeah,
just
It has gone high.
You've
grown.
gotten,
I've just grown. Do you understand? So it's time. Just time. Time really helps.
Speaking about staying the course, being consistent. One question, Mr. Toff, do you believe in God?
Yeah,
Believe in God.
sure.
What do you have to say about traders who come and say, oh, they are spiritual traders? that
Go
that
to
someone
them
can
to
just go,
Bible.
God showed me this trade. God showed me this strategy when I was meditating. What do you have to say about this kind of
I
traders?
like when they put
Yeah,
yeah, this thing. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So when it comes to the issues of the metaphysical, supernatural, God, and all of that, and things in life, when it comes to trading itself, the reason why people can really associate trading and God or as regards trades is because the market prints results on probabilities. So there is every chance that when you win a trade, If you had luckily predicted and said, oh, God showed you the trade, and that trade truly went well, definitely in your mind you are the best prophet in the world because you just saw it and you think
Prophesied.
you think the reason for the win was because of what you said. No. So the point is that the role I believe God plays in trading is that when it comes to ideas formation, right? When it comes to meeting the right people, you know, sometimes there's things that happen in life that you don't plan.
Yeah.
How you meet this guy that now showed you the system that works.
That change your life.
That changes your life, you understand? So all of these things, I believe that, okay, God has a role to play there. When you're backtesting and you're looking for that pattern that you want to use to build your system, that particular sign, you know, that you need to construct your system well, yeah, it's possible you get inspiration out of that. When it comes to a trade by trade basis, on each trade, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, God has nothing to do about that.
But do you think that in some particular rare cases, because we've had issues, I think if you read this Gifted Hands, let's go to medical field a bit. If you read Gifted Hands, Dr. Ben Carson, there was a time he said he had one test, that chemistry test or something, that he knew nothing. But in his dream, he dreamt where someone showed him, well, a professor was right, and he went to the hall. And it was same thing. Do you think that in some peculiar, or let me call it peculiar cases, that God actually steps in for a trade?
For a trader, good. So I would still key in what you said and what I said before. When it comes to ideas, so what he saw in the dream was, you know, a solution to what he was given in class. So as a trader also, you might have been looking for, maybe your system has been going through some sort of, you need to refine the system. The win rate is bad. You've been having some sort of shaking moments and all of that. And maybe let's use ICT or SMC as an example. Maybe what you just need to change is how many liquidity sweeps you use. Or if you use support and resistance for those that trade that. Maybe all you need to change is your resistance level. Maybe I should start doing 3, double bottom or double top. Just minor changes. It's possible you actually get inspiration, get ideas, and you don't even know where they come from. Somehow, something just tells you that, bro, go to that strategy and change this particular variable. Maybe start take profit at 1:4 instead of 1:3. And that might just be the changing moment.
So
and you cannot trace how you got to that level.
It's safe to say that it's probably from God.
Yes, it's very safe to say that.
His most inspirations are God-given.
You understand? So yes, so he has a role to play there. But when it comes to, okay, I place this trade, I win. I place tomorrow's trade, I lose. He cannot predict that part because he has already even given you the idea to make long.
It's left for you to use it or not.
Use it or not, you understand?
Just the inspiration, I see. I mean, that's very key. I mean, so which means it's safe to say that intuition plays a big role in decision making as a trader.
Yes, in fact, there was a book I read called Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. And they said till now, scientists have not been able to find the source of intuition. It means that when you have that thought that just randomly comes, till today, they've tried to prove everything, this and that, but the source of intuition, no one knows where it comes from.
Even in the philosophical aspect,
you've not figured it out.
Nobody has been able to know where it comes from. Nobody has. So intuition definitely plays a role in trading. Some people have said it comes from past experience. So what I would say about intuition also that, you know, our brain is a very complex and beautiful part of our body. So what happens is that, you know, your day-to-day life as a trader, your brain is recording patterns, okay?
Right.
And it happens to be that as it's helping you record them such that it gets to a point whereby you just have one intrusive thought. Oh, go and change this time frame from 4 hours to daily. Oh, go and change this fair value gap or change the support and resistance. And you're like, where is this thought coming from? Not knowing that it is a result of hundreds of recorded patterns that your brain has had.
So it has filtered it
subconsciously. And one day it brings it to you. You are not even aware. You did not plan it. It just comes.
But sometimes that intuition will fuck you up too.
That's why at the end of the day, you guys test the intuition. When intuition don't come, it doesn't mean you should just jump. When you get intuition, okay, do your refinements, do your editings.
I guess that's where people have issues.
They just say, my mind, they tell me, say, you go, make I just
because that loss I took yesterday, normal me, if I want to match so much, if I want to over leverage, what I usually do, even if all my confluences meet, I must go to the 1 minute time frame to check for, say, a change of character. Then I know that, okay, maybe if it was going down, then there's a change of character in 1 minute. Then I know that, okay, this is pretty much going to go my way. Then I now enter for a buy. But then this one, I was so sure, like, bro, no, nothing you can tell me, bro, because I saw this. I just enter, and my mind was telling me, go and check. Mind you, the trade still went my way. but my entry was too early.
Yeah.
Supposing I had gone to check the 1 minute time frame,
Imagine.
I would have waited for the right
So
entry.
that was a mistake.
So that was my mistake. I mean, I went back to check why I took
So
that.
you think that most people, they don't just know how to manage their intuition?
They don't know how to tap into it. They cannot harness it well. You get, so using intuition is a tricky thing. So you need to know how to use your intuition. Intuition is very personal. So you need to know how to hack your own intuition. You know, test it over time. You know, see how you can work with it, and I think from there you are good.
So, Mr. Toff, taking you back to this, does God work in trading? I want to understand. Because I've seen so many of these people. Person go dey trade like you see God abeg, God abeg.
They work.
Especially when it's close to the stop loss. So I know God works majorly in this trading space, but I'm a believer for sure. You understand? I'm also a trader. So I want to get, does it mean that God would have to help the trader do his own part, or God does his part before and the trader also does his part? So how can you differentiate that or relate it to each other?
Talking of that, I've been in that shoes before, whereby man,
everybody
2021.
God,
I will be in stop loss drawdown. And I go declare make God reverse the trade.
Good, reverse this
Like,
thing for me.
God
Only you did here.
Don't be God tell me make I break my rule now. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's we just tend to put certain blames on him, and it's not fair entirely. Do you understand? You know, so what I'll just say is that long term, definitely he has a role to play. You know, when it comes to you can pray for strength and when it comes to process-based things, okay, let me wake up early, let me execute the right trades. I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want to exit at the wrong price. Let me just follow my plan. That's fine. But when it comes to reversing a trade that is moving already, you know, if it reverses my trade, what if me my own TP is up and your own TP is down? Who's going to have the answer?
You won't confuse God.
You won't confuse God now.
You don't confuse God now.
Do you get the point? So what is interested in the long term? What are your success? What's going to be your success after a long amount of trade? Not trying to change one trade for only you when there are other thousands of traders that you know they are also involved in the matter.
And you know, and one thing, God is not partial.
Thank you.
So most time when we are trying to make it, you are just trying for it to go in your own favor and not the other.
Just fulfill your own wish. That's the thing.
So when does it become an addiction? You know, when you're talking about God, I beg me, maybe I'll just make this money, maybe all these kind of things. When does trading become an addiction? Because I notice that you find a trader, he's now profitable, like he's good, don't land money, they go, he's not happy, and he just wants to keep. You know this point too, we say
you're never
you
satisfied.
you date 30 years, but you don't live your life finish. The void that comes, the emptiness that comes with it. I feel like forex traders have that too. You're not profitable. You've probably go to an academy. You're not a mentor or something.
So you just
your life just empty.
You asked a very, very good question. A very, very good question. There was a doctor called Dr. Brett Steenberger. He wrote the book Daily Trading Coach, and he said there is such a thing as sense of fulfillment. Sense of fulfillment. And it happens to be that when the better you get as a trader, you realize that the less engaged you are with the trading thing. It means that you can spend less time and still make good money. You don't have to spend all the time on the chart. You are quick at seeing your setup. You are quick at seeing your trades and all of that kind of thing. So at that point in time, you need to find a sense of fulfillment in something else. So the reason why they feel really empty is because at that point they've achieved everything. They have the money.
Now go to the next phase of life.
What's the next phase of life? That's why I see rich people. There's a man in my church, he's a doctor. He's 60 years old. I mean, he has houses in my estate and all of that. You know, comes to church with cars and big police. And now he said he wants to go into tech. After he's 60. A medical doctor is because maybe he wants to find fulfillment in something else.
Something
else.
Else.
Like he needs money or something.
Yes.
And I think that's what also aids to their old age depression. Somebody's 30. You say you don't live in life, you don't get money, you don't gather everything, like you are done for, and you be like, there's nothing else I define for this world.
Call that lack of planning because
it's
you
not lack
cannot
of
get
planning.
tired of.
It's not lack of planning actually. There's this empty. I don't know if there's a way people can come into my head and
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. For me, I understand that trading is a means to create capital or cash flow for you to actually do what you want to do.
Exactly.
So when you stay too long there, you have the cash flow and you're still there.
Without a plan.
You're not
Many of
making any,
them
you're
are
not being
just there to
purposeful
make
in
the
life. You're
money.
not giving back to the society.
Exactly.
Of course, you
So,
lose
yeah,
purpose.
thank you very
Mind
much.
you, some of them do give back to society. Most
What aspect of
Everybody
giving
has
back?
their purpose.
everybody have their
Trading is-
Elon
purpose.
Musk is the richest man in the world.
Exactly.
Even after he got rich, he still Baba still bought Twitter. After buying
Don't
Twitter,
tell what's
he
the
expanded
plan
his electric car
You
behind-
see,
company. He collect $8 from
Yeah.
all
Baba,
boutique.
they relate
You know,
now.
So you think
he's
planning?
I even heard he just
Planning,
gave
yes.
back to
Plan
was
a
it
lot,
Rhapsody of Reality that he gave
wow,
$10
you
million.
serious? Wow.
Yes, now
Yeah,
he gave
you heard the
him
gist
Christ
now.
Embassy.
Wow.
$10
Are
million.
you serious?
So he's trying to ensure that is in politics, Loki.
Mm.
Yes,
See the way he's rolling with Donald Trump.
Yeah, now
even
going into
even after being
politics.
the richest man in the world, what are you looking for?
Mm.
His wealth is $430 billion. The next one is 200 something, over 200. They didn't gap him.
Sure.
Yet he's still trying to engage because at some point you need to find that fulfillment in something.
It gets boring.
It gets boring.
It
That
gets
void, as you
boring,
said.
that
So that
you
void-
need to plan to switch to
something
something
that will
else.
feel-
something exactly.
Sometimes you might not plan. Sometimes it just comes.
life just brings it. To you.
Yes.
So it's
just
safe
like-
to say that philanthropy is the void that comes after.
You have a good point. Philanthropy can be the way, especially when you have the money to fulfill that philanthropy. It can really,
Only
really
when
be.
the money is there.
Yeah, when the money is actually there, yes, it can actually. But I'll just say traders should always ensure that once they've gotten there, you've been professional, you are making money. Find
Move.
something else to do. Move.
Mm.
You definitely you still have the time to trade. Currently, I have the time to trade. I mean, and all of that, but I'm even doing my masters because
Mm.
you understand. I can navigate both of them. Do you get? So that's my advice to trader. Just find something else to do. All the traders I know, they go into real estate at some point.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, because I think they have the capital.
The capital, thank you, and the time.
They have the capital.
Mr. Toff, so when did trading become profitable for you? Two-part question, by the way. When did trading become profitable for you? And looking back to how far you've come, right? If you were to start all over again, what would you do differently?
Okay, so the first question, I would say like 2.5 years ago, that's when it clicked. Somehow I started to understand that I read a lot of books and I realized that this thing you need to understand, you need to have a system. You can't just come and be jumping in and out. You have to have a steady approach to the market. And once I started to build a personal approach to the market, the money started to come. I think then prop firms were raining FTMO and my forex funds 103 thereabouts. So I think I made my first 1M there with a prop account. Do you understand? And then I was not give away, so you have to buy
1 million naira.
Yeah, first 1M. That was like 3 years ago. Or so.
Wait.
3 years.
1
No,
million
it's
naira.
now.
That guy clean your shoe, boy.
I will pack my private jet inside the plane.
Oh my.
You understand?
I can imagine. yeah.
So it started coming from then. Then if I was to start, what would I do differently? I would say that if I was to start all over again, the first thing I would first do is create a strategy for myself. I mean, get information, valuable knowledge, right? Get valuable knowledge, then create a strategy, then backtest that thing. Be sure this thing works. Don't just be testing up, be very sure it works. If it works, then I'm going to move from there. But I understand something that also psychology, you have to go through that thing. You have to go through that psychology phase. You will lose. And when you lose, I don't want to go into the nitty-gritties of this thing. Human beings don't like to lose. You
Right.
understand? So, but there are certain things I would do. One of them is I'll do meditation. I don't know. I've spoken about that on Spaces. It's an act of ensuring that you're mindful. It's building mental awareness. I would also do visualization. I'll do journaling.
Okay.
Yes.
Journaling helps.
I'll do journaling so that when I'm trading and I'm feeling somehow, I instead of transferring the whatever to the
You
chart,
just
I'm going to
write
write it down.
write
Thank
it
you.
down.
So these things will just quicken my psychology phase because I don't want to spend so much time battling psychology. Make I battle psychology, know that I'm done with this thing and move. So if I'm to start differently, I would ensure that I have a system, I have a working strategy, right? Then I also ensure that I journal my trade, journal my feelings, do some meditation and visualization, all right? And ensure that I backtest.
You know,
yeah.
sorry, I'll move to let me add something to that. You know, people don't really see most guys see journaling as a ladies thing, but you don't know the journaling is therapeutic.
But when it comes to this backtesting of a thing, don't you think majority of traders they create psychological barriers for themselves? Like they just backtest the winnings and they don't backtest for losses.
Yeah, very, very good question. Very, very good
Yeah.
question. So I've said earlier on, one thing we need to understand at the core of this business is that it's going to be wins and losses. The only idea is that my wins should be more than my losses. Now, it means that when I'm also backtesting, I should backtest both of them. Because if you backtest winnings alone, you are putting yourself in a state of jeopardy. It means that you are giving yourself a false reality. of what the market is like.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Such that when you now come to real life scenarios and you now see losses, you become confused. So I would say that it is normal when people backtest, their eyes go to the winners. There's a bias called illusion bias in psychology, whereby people tend to look at what they are really looking for. So if you are really looking for winners only, you realize that the only things you're seeing when you're backtesting are winning setups.
Exactly.
You are not somehow you can't see the losing setup until you send your results to maybe a professional and they will say that wait, there was a loss here, why didn't you record it? There was a loss here, why didn't you record it?
So many of them don't record.
So many of them, they don't record their losses. It's either on purpose or they just don't see them. So what I do for myself when I used to backtest them, my activity is that I purposefully find those losses. I don't want to whine myself.
Exactly.
I don't want to whine myself. So when I'm backtesting, I will try my best to look for the losses so that I will know that when I come to real life market scenarios, I am still seeing the same losses.
Now you go still suffer.
Now you go see so far. Do you understand? So you're not doing anybody any good if you're only backtesting the winners. You get? But as I said, it's a common thing. It's not uncommon at all. People do it a lot. People tend to just backtest the winners only. But I would advise that when you're doing the process, ensure that you're looking for the losses also, so that when you come to life scenarios, you can handle losses well.
So backtesting, let me say, may you ignore risk management.
No, it doesn't mean so. It doesn't mean so. You have to
I
understand.
learned the hard way.
Perfect example.
Right.
Perfect example.
So you're big on psychology, and I know one thing about life for sure is that for you to be resilient on something, you must have faced some sort of backlash, or should I say some really crazy challenges in that thing for you to now become stronger in that area of discipline. So my question is, I mean, you're big on psychology. Was there any time that that trading dealt a big blow in your psychology that you wanted to quit so bad? Man, nobody could tell you anything. I'm done.
Story.
Yeah, very good question.
And
So,
I mean, then how did you come out of
navigate
that?
my way around it, right? Yeah, so I would say the greatest was in COVID-19 period. I used to say this story on Spaces where, they took our transformer. And in Nigeria, once they take your transformer, it's gone. Nothing can give you light again. Forget light. You understand? So they took it for 8 months. So because of that, my laptop, because we were struggling then, so my laptop was what I used to use to charge my phone. So my laptop battery got bad. All right. So during that period, I was losing every money that my mom gives me, right? I would lose it to the market. I'm sure that broker, they must have loved me so much for losing so much customer. I was losing a lot to them. You get? So, and at some point, it became addictive. The addictive part of it was that I was addicted to doing nonsense. So that's when you say some people are gamblers in the market. They see the market as an opportunity to gamble, to get high, to just do anything they like. So at some point, I was a revenge trader, meaning that when I take a loss, I don't accept the loss. I want to go back. I don't want to use a strategy or system. I just want to go back.
I just want my money back.
I just want my money back.
Which is not possible.
Do you understand? So it got me to that point of mini depression at several points. At some point, I thought my house was cursed. Yes, I would tell my mother then. I would tell her that this house where we did, there's something about this house. You get not knowing that it is me that is causing my.
That's wrong with the house.
So
do you understand? So it happened all through that period of time. And one more thing I would say is that I was trading on my phone most of the time. You understand? And one thing I would say to traders is that if you're starting, try to get a laptop. And now, aside from the fact that laptop has a bigger interface and all of that, I'll go into psychology actually. Now, what happens is that because your phone is so accessible, it gives you the chance to do nonsense.
True.
You can wake up in the morning, you're not sure you're breathing. You just go to your phone,
subconsciously, you just
swipe off, empty 5, and start trading. You're not analyzing anything, and the more you lose because of the accessibility, you keep pressing and pressing and pressing. If it was a laptop, before you load Windows, say when the Windows they load now, your brain, thank you very much. Your brain don't reset. All of the emotions are calm. It's just like journaling also. Before you write everything, you are calm. So before you open your laptop, you swipe to trading, you use the mouse to go to X and all of those kind of things. You are relaxed. So apparently, when they brought the transformer back after 8 months, everybody shouted in the streets. Like they shouted, it was a fresh new, brand new transformer they brought. So one day after we had light, I could use my laptop now because the battery was better and all of that. I realized that those degenerative habits reduced. I don't know how, but if it did, because I started using a laptop. Now, I'm not saying that a laptop automatically would make you a better trader or
Better
something.
trader,
But
yeah.
I'm saying that it helps
Yeah.
at the starting phase for that psychology.
Mm.
So all of the urges to just do anything, now that I have in my
Fast,
mind, I
fast.
now feel like a professional. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, laptop, So I now started to analyze properly. I was not
Yeah.
just jumping into trade and jumping out of trade. So the psychology issues reduced drastically.
Oh.
All right. So it reduced drastically, and moving onwards, 2 years after, some of them still surfaced. And that's one thing with life. When you struggle with something, there is something called relapse, whereby you've overcome it, and after a while, it comes back again for no reason. Do you understand? So 2 years after, in 2022, the revenge trading thing, trying to recover, it came back. All right, but it didn't stay for so long
Because you've already
because
mastered.
yeah, I had mastered a part
yeah.
of how to handle those things. So I started to, backtest. Then, I was like, this thing's coming back again. Let me build a strategy, build a system.
Yeah.
All right, I started to read a lot of books, trading psychology books.
Mm.
And when I read those books, I realized that we are not the only ones that face this. Legends from times have faced the same thing also. So when you know you're not the only one in something, it gives you that idea that okay, definitely you can go through this and you can come out of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's very
That's
nice.
insightful.
I've really enjoyed the conversations that we've had.
Mm.
So, at the end of the day, is trading truly a path to freedom, or it's just a high risk path that have been ruining lives? Like when you talk about the addiction, you talk about the gambling,
That's true.
trading. Most people have committed suicide
Right.
So many
because
are in
of
Yeah.
trading.
prison, sef.
Yeah.
So do you think that it's is still the way to freedom, financial freedom, or
Hmm.
it's a high risk adventure
Mm.
that ruins lives or saves lives? I need you to like take a stand. Does it ruin life?
Hmm.
Is this saving life? Or is it just in the middle? Or the way people approach trading? I
Yeah.
just need a stance from you.
Yeah, that's a very, very good question, especially for those that want to go into trading.
Yeah.
I would say that trading has saved lives and
Mhm.
it has also ruined lives.
Mm.
Now, but I would put it in this sense: your approach would determine either of the two options. Your journey or the choices you're making will determine if it's going to ruin or save your life. Right? It's truly a path to financial freedom. Honestly, for me, I finished with first class from England,
Mm.
and I'm not using my degree. Do you understand? It's training I used to get there. All through from, whatever,
First year.
trading I used to get financial freedom. So it means that trading truly, truly is a path to financial freedom.
Mhm.
However, the choices you make will determine if it's going to lead you to financial freedom or financial ruin.
Mm.
All right. So you have to make the right choices. You need to ensure that if you are going to come into the field, don't think you know everything.
Ew.
Get the right education. You know, ensure you're mentored. Okay, you might do it without mentorship, but you might take a lot of time before you figure it out, and you might have ruined your life before you even realize that I needed the mentor.
So
You know,
bad.
so you need to ensure that you get the right education. Understand technicals, risk management, psychology. Once you understand these things, go through the processes as we've discussed in this podcast. Once you go through that and you come out on top, I believe that financial freedom is not far away.
Mm.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Toff. Toff for me for short. Abi.
Yeah, thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much for coming on to our podcast and to our viewers. At some point, you have to ask yourself, if you're a trader, you have to ask yourself if this is actually a path to your financial freedom, or you are just scared of being broke. But if your answer is yes, is a path to your financial freedom, then why do you still feel so trapped? Why do you feel like you've not gotten what you want? Why are you still chasing shadows? I think this episode is meant for you to reflect. Give yourself time for retrospection and think about releasing yourself from that trap. Thank you so much for coming to our podcast, and don't forget to subscribe, to like, and to share to your friends, and share the good news that we are passing on to people, because right now we're talking about psychology, and if you have gone through this episode to this point, you've been blessed, of course. And I know that I said I'm going to mention the name of the trading company, but I'm not going to say it. The Trading Academy. I won't say it now. I have to keep you guys waiting because something that is precious, you need to chase for it. So in our next episode, I will be mentioning the Trading Academy that sponsored this episode. So stay tuned and see you next Monday. Thank you.